Hello and welcome. My name is Terry Chappelle Boyd and I am the current president of the International Perfume Bottle Association. On behalf of our organization, I would like to welcome you to this presentation of Collecting Perfume Bottles, Compacts, Purses, and Other Vanity Items 101. This program was designed to provide you with some good information to make you smile a little, and we hope it will intrigue you enough to think seriously about this enticing hobby of collecting perfume bottles. Perfume bottle collectors are often asked, why do you collect perfume bottles? And they'll tell you, they're pieces of art. They're gorgeous. It spoke to me. I had to have it. One of my favorite stories, though, comes from one of our members. She tells us that one Christmas many years ago, her older sister received a unique Christmas gift. It was a perfume kit that contained tiny little bottles full of floral fragrances, a bowl for mixing, little bottles to make your own fragrances, and she remembers being quite jealous of her older sister. And she sort of buried this memory until she was at a garage sale one day where she spied 3 perfume bottles, and the memories of that Christmas came flooding back. She remembered the fun they had in playing with those perfume bottles. The love of those bottles compelled her to purchase these perfume bottles. Now, I don't know if she blames Santa Claus, or her sister for that matter, for her collecting hobby, but I do know she has a lovely and ever-expanding collection of perfume bottles. Perfume itself is very magical. Perfume can stir long-forgotten memories. Do you remember your mother's fragrance? Can you smell your first love? Perfume is very personal, as are the perfume bottles that hold the fragrance. They were as precious to the original owners as they are to us who collect them today, like this tiny little cute Avon unicorn bottle from the late 1970s. Perfume has been around for thousands of years, as have perfume bottles and makeup. Let's take a little bit of a look at history of these items. The name perfume actually comes from the Latin perfumus, through smoke, burning incense, the smoke, the aromatic smoke. That's how we get the name perfume. Perfumery is the art of making perfumes. It began in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt and was further refined by the Romans and the Persians. Perfume containers have a long history going back to ancient times, long before most people would imagine. These ancient bottles from Egypt and Phoenicia are from 1085 BC through AD 300, and they held scented ointments and perfume oils. The roots of makeup, of cosmetics, are also to be found in ancient Egypt, where kohl was used, and everybody in Egypt used cosmetics, both men and women, the rich, the poor. Makeup as well as perfume and oils were used for vanity reasons, but also to protect the skin from the environment and for religious rituals. Here you can see the wonderful kohl eyeliner on our Nefertiti bust from about 1320 BC, 3,300 years ago. These perfume bottles are from ancient Greece, and they stand about 3 inches tall. They were found in the graves of their owners, as the Greeks tended to bury people with their most treasured possessions. Perfumes in ancient Greece were mainly flower essences preserved in olive oil, and these perfume bottles were very, very precious to their owners. Now, Grecian women painted their faces with white lead, and they applied crushed mulberries as rouge. It is also said the application of fake eyebrows, often made of oxen hair, was very fashionable to the ancient Greeks. In Ancient China, there was little distinction between incense, perfume, herbs, and spices. Fragrant oils, flowers, sandalwood were all used. Chinese citizens commonly used rice powder to make their faces white. Eyebrows were shaved off, teeth painted gold or black, henna dyes applied to the skin to stain the hair and the faces, and even the lip balm in ancient China bore fantastic fragrance. During the Elizabethan era, face makeup tended to be associated with bad health. They used white lead paste to hide illness. In 1770, British Parliament passed a law which annulled marriages if a woman wore cosmetics before her wedding day. I guess they were afraid she was hiding something. Now, these women of the 16th and 17th century wore perfume gloves, perfume cloaks, and they also carried a pomander, a ball filled with perfumes, and they used it from the Middle Ages onward. It was a form of protection against sickness and death. Until about the late 1700s, perfume and the bottles that held it were made and were used primarily by royalty, by the very wealthy, and by high-ranking church officials. There really wasn't a merchant or a manufacturing system at that time where one could go buy a fabulous bottle. With industrialization, mid-19th century came increased production of perfumes and perfume bottles, and at that time they became more affordable and available to the general public. Here you see some perfume bottles from the Middle Ages, Islamic, Venetian, metal perfume bottles, perfume containers holding these scented oils and fragrances. Perfume bottles have come a long way since that time, but yet they all have the same elements. A perfume bottle, when we look at the anatomy, the makeup, there are two main parts. You have the bottle, you have the base that holds the fragrance, and you have the stopper that keeps it from coming out, or you use it to apply the fragrance. In most cases, the bottle and the stopper were the same materials, and today we see about 95% of perfume bottles, they're glass. Now, the bottle stopper should fit securely into the neck of the bottle, and the bottle and the stopper should be in harmony. And by harmony, it should look as if they belong together. Sometimes bottles and stoppers get mismatched. This is what some people refer to as a marriage. They did not start out in life together. Perfume bottle collectors collect one of two categories of perfume bottles. Non-commercial bottles or commercial bottles. What's the difference? Non-commercial bottles, beautiful objects made to hold perfume, but they were not made and sold with perfume in them. The bottles were purchased empty. The owner filled the bottle. They went to their favorite druggist or apothecary and had them fill it with rose water or lavender water or whatever was the current trend at that time. Here we have a beautiful Steuben bottle. This Steuben bottle is called the Atomic Cloud. It was made between 1905 and 1933 in Corning, New York, and it stands about 4¼ inches high. A commercial perfume bottle is defined as a bottle sold with perfume in it. Now they were, and they are today, made by fragrance companies, and they have labels that tell the name of the perfume and the name of the fragrance company. For example, these lovely Christian Dior perfume bottles, these were launched in 1955. The fragrances include Miss Dior and Diorama. The colors of the bottles were chosen to represent the French flag, blue, white, and red. With commercial perfume bottles. You often have a decorative label, just not writing on the bottle, but a decorative label, sometimes with graphics, and if luck is really on your side, it has a matching box that you can find. There are many different categories of non-commercial and commercial perfume bottles. All are fairly accessible and affordable. Let's take a look at some non-commercial perfume bottles. The Victorians carried glass double-ended bottles with metal tops. These bottles had a double use. One side was for perfume, the other side was for smelling salts. Heavy clothing and poor sanitary conditions made it necessary for people to carry containers with pungent scented material to revive their senses when the odors got too much. The bottles shown here date from about 1850 to 1890. The Victorians also carried ceramic or porcelain bottles with metal caps. These interesting bottles date from about 1880 to 1900. They're probably European, were made to carry in a purse or a very large pocket, and you will notice that the decoration on the perfume bottles is hand-painted on these porcelain bottles, or it had a transfer decoration. As you see here, some bottles are made of silver, some in unusual shapes. The mandolin in the center, it's Dutch, and the bottle on the right, which is decorated with jewels, is from Austria. The little bottle on the left has no markings at all, but it might be American. All of them date to around 1880 to 1900. In the 1800s, cameo bottles were the vogue. Cameo glass is a technique where several layers of colored glass are fused together, and then the outer layers are removed by carving or acid etching to produce the finished product. Cameo glass most commonly consists of opaque white glass figures and motifs on a dark colored background. We have 3 examples here: a Gallet perfume bottle, the little sapphire bottle is by Tiffany, and then we have the trefoil bottle, the laydown. Bohemia as a country no longer exists, but it was located in an area of Europe near Germany and Austria. Bohemia was a center for glass making, and the glass perfume bottles from there are beautiful. These bottles here date around 1885 to 1890. Now, because European glass blowers and glass cutters immigrated to the U.S. to do the same type of glass work here, it is often difficult to determine the country or origin if the bottle is not marked. A beautiful bottle, though, is desirable no matter what country it comes from. Can't you just see these bottles sitting on your dressing table? These 3 early American glass bottles were made by the Boston and Sandwich Glass Company. There are books on sandwich glass that help determine shapes and colors that were produced by this company. Look at these beautiful colors. All 3 of these date to around 1840. The heyday of cut glass was during what is referred to as the Brilliant Period, 1885 to about 1910. Notice that some of the bottles from this category have glass stoppers, some have metal stoppers, some would have metal hinge tops. The more elaborate and intricate the design of cutting, the more desirable these bottles are to collectors. These bottles here are referred to as silver overlay. After the glass is blown, a silver company was employed to enhance the bottle with silver decoration, often in elaborate swirl designs. The bottles usually have matching stoppers with silver on them too. and most overlay silver bottles date from about 1890 to 1920. Note the little bottle on the left is a 1920s bottle. Now, during the Depression era, from the 1920s to the 1930s, there were American glass makers producing some wonderful, high-quality glassware. And these glass makers used their creative designs to make interesting and quite lovely vanity items. They wanted to tempt these cash-starved consumers to splurge on non-essential products. And they were successful at it. Let's look at a few other of these perfume bottles. On the left, you have Westmoreland bottles. They're enhanced with decorative elements. The bottle in the center has hand-painted flowers and gilding. The bottle on the right, it's an etched design, and yet blue paint has been added as well. The bottles on the right, the beautiful colors, are by the Tiffin Glass Company. You'll notice the two amber bottles are different shapes, but they are also different types of glass. The one in the middle has a frosted surface. The one on the left is a polished. And then on the right, you have the apple green colored glass bottle, which is an elegant shape and has a long stopper with a long dauber to put your perfume on. Lenox Company and the Fenton Glass Company also produced elegant 20th century glass. You will notice in the top photo, all three of these bottles are made of porcelain, not glass. And the Lenox Company is the same company that produces fine china dinnerware. Notice the little rabbit in the center. And if you look very closely at that penguin on the right, that black fabric coat is actually covering an atomizer bulb underneath the covering. Fenton, a name familiar to all, produced interesting colors of bottles throughout the years. The blue bottle on the left looks more like a stoppered bottle with its ruffled collar, but if you look closer, you'll notice it too is an atomizer spray bottle. The DeVilbiss Company out of Toledo, Ohio, began producing perfume atomizers around 1910, and about that same time it became a hand decorating company. DeVilbiss commissioned glass makers from Europe and America to make glass bottles that they then painted, etched, gilded, and mounted with their beautiful hardware. The heyday for the most elegant bottles was from 1920 to about 1935, even though they did continue making perfume bottles for some time after that period. And today the DeVilbiss Company is still in existence, but they no longer produce perfume bottles. These bottles here, the two turquoise bottles, you can see the overlay of enamel with a dragonfly motif. One is an atomizer, one has the stopper with the long dauber. The orange bottle on the left has a soft satin finish and colored glass inside that bottle portion only. The red bottle on the right has a black and gold Art Deco leaf pattern. The black center bottle is known as the debutante. It's a black bullet-shaped glass bottle with spiral tubing that ends with the atomizer ball. All of these are approximately 6 to 7 inches tall, and they're from the 1920s. These two DeVilbiss bottles are from 1926, and you'll notice it's the exact style of bottle and hardware, yet the designs are very different, and DeVilbiss is known for their artistic designs. Another lovely set from DeVilbiss is this tiara set. And you'll notice the wonderful enameling and gilding on the tiara bottle, as well as the atomizer bottle. The metalwork on these three bottles was made by DeVilbiss competitors, Garunde on either end and Volupte in the center. As with De Vilbiss, these companies only made the hardware. The bottle itself was produced by different glass companies. The Cambridge Glass Company is known for their gorgeous atomizer bottles. These three all have etched designs, and you will notice the lovely lavender color of the perfume bottle in the center. From early in the 1900s, glass companies were making perfume bottles, boudoir items, in sets. These sets contained usually 2 perfume bottles, a powder box, and sometimes a matching tray, and they were meant to sit on a lady's vanity or dresser as both decorative and useful. Of course, it was a great marketing ploy. If you liked the perfume bottle, you'd love the entire showy set, and of course, they were right. On the left, you'll see the delightful black and white set. It was made by the Imperial Glass Company, and it's in the Art Deco style. Note the arched, the elegant, milky, white glass stoppers on the bottles, the contrast with the black and the white. On the right, we have a Duncan and Miller set. Now, Duncan and Miller was a glass company from Pittsburgh, and it was in business from about 1865 to 1980, and they produced beautiful glassware and perfume bottles. This dresser set is very unusual. It is known as the Rocket. It's from the 1940s, and it's one of Duncan and Miller's futuristic perfume bottle shapes. Gorgeous. Other dresser sets were the brass vanity sets, gilt metal vanity. These beautiful ornate sets were usually made of gilt brass, gilded white metal, or gilded bronze. Some are heavily jeweled, have unusual shapes, and are loaded with open metalwork called filigree. The 2 pictures show examples from 2 different manufacturers. The first gorgeous set, the one on the right, with the huge green stones, is by the Apollo Silver Company of New York. The use of large jewels was quite typical for this company. These bottles are generally marked. The second set consists of a perfume bottle plus a comb and a brush and a mirror, and it's marked the Empire Art Gold by manufacturer E&J Bass of New York. Now, E&J Bass manufactured jewelry as well as sterling and silver-plated items. Note the lovely use of amber stones to enhance the gilt metalwork. Some additional gilt metal vanity bottles are shown here. The picture on the right shows a pair of 13-inch tall glass and metal Gildcrest bottles, which are usually marked with a paper label. On the left, we have an 8-inch Silvercraft atomizer from Farber Brothers. It's marked Mosaic, the Mosaic line of New York. Silvercraft pieces are usually marked with a pseudo hallmark and model number. Czechoslovakia no longer exists as an individual country. However, it too was a glass-making center in Europe, and the former Bohemia was part of this same area. Wonderful, glorious glass perfume bottles were made in Czechoslovakia during the period of 1918 to 1938. Notice the beautiful colors and cutting on these bottles. The elaborate stoppers are particularly attractive to collectors. These 2 lovely black Czech bottles, the one on the left has the malachite stones, the one on the right has the crystal stopper, And then you see the lovely red and white around the stopper and the bottom of the bottle. Although you may not can tell it from the photograph. These are some Czechoslovakian miniature perfume bottles. The ones on the right are of cut glass. They're about 3 3/8 inches tall. The same designs as the larger bottles, just the miniature version, but still the lovely colors and cutting. On the left, you will see the purse bottles with a metal screwed cap. And if you look closely, the little dangles are made of glass. And there are numerous examples of these with different animals, different shapes, and different designs. When we talk Czechoslovakian, we also need to mention Czechoslovakian masterpieces, such as this bottle, the green bottle with stones, or this lovely purple bottle. And all of these contain decorative elements, be it metalwork, large stones, fabulous etching, incredible stoppers. These are just some examples of some Czechoslovakian masterpieces. This category of bottle is referred to as crown tops or porcelain figureroles. The crown top name comes from the fact that many of them were sold with a metal sprinkler top shaped as a crown. And these bottles were in vogue during the 1920s and the 1930s. They were produced mainly in Germany and Bavaria, even though many other countries made them as well. There is an infinite variety of shapes, ladies of different period dress, dogs, cats, numerous other animals, chubby children, oriental figures, flowers, and much more. You will see the wonderful little pensive Cupid dog here, Cupid doll on the left. You have the Art Deco girl decorated with hearts, surely a Valentine gift. You have a man with a bowler hat, and then you have the sweet little teddy bear. Perfume burners are a way of scenting a room without the use of electricity. The first two are ceramic or porcelain, and they're decorated, you can see on the left, with a horse and buggy pattern. The other one has the golden bees. These were both made by Lampe Bergère, a company that is still producing wonderful burners today. The two glass burners on the right, the beautiful optic green, the cranberry glass, probably date from about the 1930s. De Vilbus also made perfume lamps. This gorgeous dragon design is from 1924. Incredible. Although most of the focus of perfume bottle collectors is with bottles from the past, we must not forget about the fabulous bottles being created today. The bottles in this category are referred to as studio art glass and are each individually designed and handcrafted by a glass artist. As you can see by the photos, the designs are unique and beautiful. In the bottom photo, you will notice the bottle appearing to be a flower emerging from a leaf base. And the bottle on the right has inclusions in glass, has a branch, has a leaf stopper. The tiny bottle in the center has an iridescence similar to Tiffany's Favril glass, but it was made by John Gilvey of New York. The top bottle looks so much like an orchid, it makes you want to look around for the rest of the plant. Notice how the stamen portion becomes the removable stopper and the dauber. In 2016, the IPBA started a perfume bottle design contest to promote bottles of today. We've had over 85 different entries over the last 4 years. These are the winners 2016 through 2019. And every year we look forward to examples of today's perfume bottle designers. Now you have just previewed many examples of non-commercial perfume bottles. Bottles that were produced without perfume in them, meant to be filled by the owner. The other category of perfume bottle collecting is commercial perfumes. What are commercial perfumes? Bottles sold with perfume in them. Bottles commissioned by a fragrance company. They have a label. They have the name of the perfume. They have the name of the company. And many times they often have the box. Here's a lovely example of a bottle in the box. Castelli. Look at the beautiful graphics, the flowers, the lovely lady. All of these elements contribute to the art of the perfume bottle. Here are the 4 earliest commercial perfume companies. Farina, still in business today, began business in 1709, as is Ubagant, which started in 1775, number 4711 in 1792, and Guerlain in 1828. Around 1900, remember, commercial perfume bottle production became automated and advanced. The range of styles and the types of bottles and shapes increased. Here are 3 very classical perfume bottles. On the left, you have the Arpège bottle by Lanvin. The center bottle with the ornate shark skin box is by the Caron Company. And on the right is the very familiar Chanel bottle, which is celebrating its 100th year anniversary this year. Most collectors have at least one, if not all 3, of these bottles in their collections. You may have heard the name René Lalique. And René Lalique and the company he formed are very well known for their beautiful high-quality glass. Lalique perfume bottles are highly sought by collectors. Most of the bottles were designed and made for commercial perfume companies. There were some sold to high-end department stores and galleries. On the left, we have the very recognizable bottle with the 2 intertwined doves as a stopper, L'air des Temps, perfume by Nina Ricci. In the center, we have Molinard by Molinard. And on the right is the skyscraper design in blue for the Worth Company. Here we have another Lalique skyscraper, Parfum A by Lucien Lelong from Lalique in 1928. And here you will notice the lovely box that goes with the perfume. Commercial perfume bottles were often produced by fashion houses, such as Schiaparelli in the center, and here you will see the wonderful dressmaker bottle. On the left, we have some Coty bottles, and Coty is known throughout perfume bottle collectors for their innovative designs, their beautiful bottles, and many times these were Lalique as well. Richard Hudnut is a very familiar name among perfume bottle collectors. In the bottle on the right, you can see the beautiful color and the graphics of the Wood Violet bottle by Richard Hudnut. Commercial perfume bottles often came in wonderful colors. The lovely red of the Duska bottles, the bright Green Le Jade by Roger and Gallet. These bottles here are very, very collectible by our members. As a perfume bottle collector in commercial bottles, you might collect a house such as Guerlain or maybe Prince Machiavelli. Figural bottles are also collectible. On the top, you have the rosine heart with the lovely frosted winged stopper. On the bottom, you actually have 3 bottles by Elizabeth Arden that are figurals. The hand on the left is, of course, a Baccarat perfume bottle, and the others are lovely, wonderful frosted glass ladies. With Chu Chin Chow, you get not only a figural bottle with lovely gilding and enameling, but if you're very, very lucky, you also get his lovely pagoda box house. Most of the commercial perfume companies produced beautiful perfume bottles in a miniature version. They were either the smallest size in their line, or they were created and given away as samples. Many collectors love these minis because they are true to the original bottle design, such as Shalimar, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Prince Machiavelli crowns, Elizabeth Taylor's Passion, or Christian Dior's Poison. During the 1920s and the 30s, dime stores often carried inexpensive perfumes and colognes, often bottled in cute figural or novelty presentations. These were especially attractive to children who purchased them as gifts for their mothers or maybe their teachers. And what a fun collection these bottles make. They are certain to brighten any dreary day. These 3 bottles have very interesting presentations. On the left, we have Yesteryear by Babs. We have Evening in Paris by Bourjois. And on the right is Golden Woods Sophisticat by Max Factor. Other examples of novelty perfume bottles. On the left, you'll see these bottles are quite timely, quite unique with numerous styles of clocks. Or on the right, bottles sure to light up your light lamps with small bottles incorporated into the design. Avon, formerly the California Perfume Company, is a brand everyone knows, and although there are clubs specifically for Avon collectors, many of our members enjoy some unique Avon bottles in their collections. Many perfume companies have solid perfume compacts as a part of their line. A solid perfume is made from concentrated perfume oil and a melted wax base, and the containers for solid perfume are endless. They are unique and small, and collectors love them. On the left, we have the Max Factor compact showing the sweet little bird hovering over her nest with colorful eggs. In the center, a little box by Corday with a unicorn on the top. And on the right, how about a hippopotamus with round glass eyes by the Revlon Company. For the past 50 years or more, Estee Lauder has delighted and enticed perfume lovers and collectors alike with unique and beautiful solid perfume compacts, such as these. One of my favorites here is the Ferris wheel. You can even turn it around and imagine you are looking at everything around you. Look at the lovely peacock. The bear is from Harrods. The Harrods bear is a collectible all in itself, and you can have the solid perfume to coordinate. Look at the enameling and the rhinestone, the work, truly exquisite. Estee Lauder is known for their presentations, and here are some examples with some collaborations they've had with Jay Strongwater, as well as Judith Lieber. In the early 1900s, as women began to add a little bit of powder to their wardrobe, beautiful cardboard boxes were decorated and designed with beautiful graphics to entice the customer. Though made of cardboard, they were decorated with images of beautiful ladies, floral sprays and garlands, and bright colors. The box over on the right has that little unique ring handle. It was made by the Fiore company. Powder compacts in days gone by were a beautiful way to apply your makeup away from home. Most of the powder compacts collected today are from the 1920s to about the 1950s. The variety of shapes and designs are reflective of the spirit of the times. Here you have a lovely Wedgwood compact, the blue and white design. Or how about the Lucite compact with moon and stars? Or the Italian compact on the right with the Botticelli image from the 40s and the 50s. Guilloche is a type of compact that refers not to the enamel, but to the series of patterns within the compact. The guilloche patterns can be found in architecture and in banknotes. Guilloche refers to this series of patterns, and in the French it means engine turning. When used in making jewelry, guilloche patterns are carved into the base metal. Here are 5 lovely examples. Look at all the wonderful colors. These Art Deco compacts have gorgeous graphics and great colors. The bubbles in the compact on the right almost look as if they're floating off the compact. Figural compacts are very desired. On the left, in 1940s, Lucien Lelong Tambourine Compact, and on the right, also from the 1940s, we have the Elizabeth Arden Harlequin Mask in 10 different colors. As women started to go around the town, they had little carryalls that often held their powder, their rouge, as well as a lipstick. And look at the lovely design on the outside of the carryall. Lipsticks are another collecting category. The tube shape we're all familiar with started in about the 1930s. Beautiful and interesting containers were meant to be admired and to be used again, and most had refillable little lipsticks that you could put in them, unlike today where we have plastic tubes that are meant to be thrown away. These lovely containers here, you will note the different materials, the lucite, the bakelite, and take especially note of the the lipstick on the left that is from Italy and is shaped like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Where would a woman be without her purse? Whiting & Davis has been the premium handbag brand for mesh bags for over a century. They designed their first mesh bag in 1892, and by 1912 had invented a machine to automate the mesh making process. Coveted by flappers, actresses, and women everywhere. They elevated handbags, mesh handbags, to a new level when painted with bold and Art Deco designs. The purse on the right is actually a new Whiting and Davis, but look again at the lovely graphics. Look at this lovely Art Deco mesh and Bakelite purse. And here are 4 more examples of handbags. The Art Nouveau handbags on the upper left is from the 1890s. On the right of the bag, look at the lovely tapestry and, of course, the jeweled frame of the tapestry bag. On your bottom right, you have a velvet ring dance bag. And on bottom left, look at the glass beaded purse with the lion celluloid frame. Fitted bags had special pockets for lipsticks, powder, fragrance, combs, and sometimes cigarettes and matches. This one by Elizabeth Arden. Various pendants, pens, and bracelets that contain perfume, liquid or solid, or even powder, blush, or lipstick are shown here. These lovely bracelets of Bakelite with a gold decorative slide conceal assorted cosmetics. They're by Marlowe Cosmetics. Now, Ephemera is defined as a class of collectible items not originally intended to last for more than a short time, such as tickets, posters, postcards, labels, newspaper articles. This is a newspaper advertisement for a cosmetic bracelet by Marlowe, and it tells you that it is complete with powder, rouge, lipstick, 3 puffs, and 2 mirrors cleverly hidden within the bracelet. A turn of the gold decorative band transforms this unique bracelet into a complete makeup kit. Ultra smart, $2.20, post-paid, complete with 9 extra refills, tax paid. This is how we learn about many of our compacts, perfume bottles, lipsticks, other assorted vanity items. Ephemera can tell us so much about different companies. On the left, we have a postcard, an Italian postcard, and the graphics are incredible. On the right, this is the cover of a magazine, a French magazine from Grasse. And again, look at the lovely graphics. Perfume advertising is quite collectible. These are just some of the many categories of collecting perfume bottles, compacts, purses, and other assorted vanity items. So how do you get started collecting them? Well, you want to learn about them. You want to learn about the perfume bottles, compacts, and vanity items. How do you hunt for them? Where do you hunt for them? What should you buy? So how do you learn? One way is to join a collecting club and go to conventions. Clubs are a great way to meet people who share your interest. It's an easy way to make new and lasting friendships. Sharing your love and enthusiasm for the hobby will enhance your collecting experience, and I can tell you personally, also your life. Club conventions provide on-the-spot learning through educational programs and talks, small roundtable group discussions. You get a more intimate exchange of information, and of course, there's always presentations and programs where you can ask about your latest perfume bottle discovery. Read books about perfume bottles. There are many available. Some are out of print. The IPBA has a lending library. Members can access the library listing and the form needed to check them out. Go to antique shows. Ask questions. If you notice a seller has perfume bottles, chances are he or she can answer any questions with some certainty. And don't forget to go online. Search perfume bottle websites on the internet. Usually there's very good information to be found there. And if nothing else, you'll see very interesting bottles that you may decide to research on your own. You do learn as you go. You will develop what we call that discerning eye you hear collectors talk about. Once you've done your homework, go out and hunt. Where do you hunt for perfume bottles? Perfume bottle conventions are an excellent way to build your collection. Perfume bottle auctions are also a great avenue to collect new bottles. Websites such as eBay, Etsy, Ruby Lane, good sources. Always ask questions, especially if there are poor photos, or very few of them. If you don't receive a satisfactory answer, then move on. Garage sales. If you don't see bottles, ask many times. Sellers will have bottles that they'll just trot out for you. They had forgotten about until you asked about them. Antique malls and shops are another good source. In an individual shop, the owners are probably present. If there aren't too many bottles, though, they may not know answers to your questions. Estate and tax sales are places where treasured bottles can appear. Antique shows, flea markets, consignment and thrift shops. And don't forget your friends and relatives. It's amazing how people feel you need help with your collection. Some of my treasured are just things people have given me. May not be my area of collecting, but I love them because they were thinking of me. What should you buy? It's like they say on Antique Roadshow, condition, condition, condition. Buy bottles in good condition. Look at them, feel them. Are there nicks? Are there chips? Remember, a damaged bottle will always be a damaged bottle. At the same time, buy what you like. Buy what pleases you. If you love the bottle, you've never seen it before, buy it today. You can upgrade down the road. When we talk about buying what pleases you, think of this. Will it still thrill you tomorrow? Does it make your heart flutter? Don't be overly concerned with buying on the cheap or for investment purposes. Buy what makes your heart beat. Buy what will thrill you when you see it tomorrow, or will distress you when you realize you let it get away. Oh my. There are beautiful, unique, and affordable bottles in every one of the categories we've talked about today. Any type of collection, no matter if we're talking about Hummel figurines, Bakelite jewelry, or fountain pens, is a reflection of the owner's individual taste. No two collections are ever alike, even if two people collect in the same category. This is especially true with perfume bottles. Wide variety makes for specialty collections. Some collectors love colored glass. They may collect only one color. I collect green. You collect blue. Many collectors will collect a glass house such as Lalique or Baccarat. They may collect a specific designer or fragrance company such as these lovely Evening in Paris novelty items by Bourjois. Bottles from other materials, porcelain, silver. Interesting, unique designs, novel and quirky, they make you smile. Decorative and useful. Look at this lovely display Bottles is art. Bottle is decorative elements. You can even refill the bottles with your own fragrance. One of my favorites is this bathroom of a collector. She loves Egyptian, and look at all the different perfume bottles, compact, solid perfumes, porcelain items, all reflecting the Egyptian influence. Many of our members have historical collections. Someone once told me the Chicago World's Fair, there are over 200 different compacts just from the Chicago World's Fair. On your bottom left, you have 3 items from the New York World's Fair in 1939. And then on the bottom right, we have Forward March, which is a World War II commemorative perfume bottle. Historical collections are quite popular. Art Deco could be another area of interest. They're very desirable. So you can see different collections make for unique and personal collections. One piece of advice right here, don't be afraid to make mistakes, although hopefully they won't be costly ones. Learn about your perfume bottles, ask questions, but don't be afraid to make mistakes. All collectors, and I'm including myself here, have what we affectionately call our learning drawer, which contains educational material, which would be our mistake bottles that we have bought. And also I want to say, don't forget to dream. Don't forget to dream. There are bottles we can dream of owning. The one that makes our hearts flutter, make us struggle to catch our breath at the thought of seeing them in our cabinets front and center. This one, a unique black glass bottle in the shape of a Victorian shoe, was made in Czechoslovakia in the 1930s. Notice the gorgeous metalwork and the green glass gems that enhance its unique shape. Or this dream bottle, a commercial bottle by René Lalique. It is called Trésor de la Mer, Treasures of the Sea, and the opalescent glass powder box was formed as a clamshell that has a frosted pearl-shaped perfume bottle inside. This is a masterpiece by Lalique. This limited edition fragrance was made for the 1939 Lalique exhibition at Saks Fifth Avenue on the occasion of its 50th anniversary. The original cost of the Trésor de la Mer in 1939 was $100, quite a bit of money at that time, and only 50 of these were ever made. In 2006, at an auction organized by Ken Leach for Rego Arts, this bottle sold for $216,000, a record amount realized for a perfume bottle, and generated a whole new generation of collectors. The consignor of this bottle recalls waiting for it to go on sale to purchase. She paid $50 for it. And this groundbreaking auction result has created awareness among freshman collectors. So don't forget to dream about a specific bottle, to dream about your collection. In closing this presentation, I'd like to leave you with a little bit of information. Learning to collect is kind of like learning to ride a bike. First, you develop a good sense of balance, and then you're off and running. Enjoy the ride. Thank you. Thank you. In appreciation, the International Perfume Bottle Association and its board of directors would like to thank all of our members who helped create this program. Without their donations of photographs, suggestions for content, and technical assistance, this production would not have been possible. Thank you so much.